this is just in the middle?
Basically, from my sources, which I have contacted in Washington, journalists and top newspapers, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, etc., they did not find anything, and I did not find anything from my sources in Kiev that the Secret Service that connected the presidential candidate Trump to any Russia collusion or FSB actions or etc., etc. So then I was...
So, do listen to it. I haven't finished it. Such a lot to listen to, but I've gone most of the way through it, and I've read you most of the some of what he's actually said, which I think is very relevant in relationship to the Democrats really trying to push William Barr into admitting there's a connection with Russia in some sort of way. A little bit more of William Barr.
Had a direct contact to Donald Trump Jr. and offered to give dirt about his father's opponent. Donald Trump Jr. said, "I love it," and invited the campaign chairman and president's son-in-law the campaign chairman to a meeting with the Russians to get it.
Who did you say offered it? Who did you say offered it?
In the second instance, it was Russians made an offer to Donald Trump. I have 30 seconds. Let me get to a question if I could.
Now, was it Russians or was it Mitford, who was a Maltese? I don't know. But you see, all the words they keep using, Russians, Russians, Russians. It's the Russians. The Russians are under the bed.
Going forward, what if a foreign adversary, let's now say North Korea, offers a presidential candidate dirt?
I want to go on a little bit to the other man, the next person.
And I think we need to review how we are going to handle going forward the fact that you are supervising 12 ongoing cases that came out of the Mueller investigation and have been referred. This body has a central role in oversight that I believe we need to exercise, given your recent record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Barr,
I didn't catch his name.
I commend your candor in calling what happened in 2016 what it is, which is spying the Trump campaign and spying on the President of the United States. Let's talk a little bit more about spying. Counterintelligence investigations like the one that we now know the FBI launched against candidate Trump and President Trump, those are designed to thwart spying and sabotage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
To your knowledge, has the FBI ever launched a counterintelligence investigation of another president that you're aware of?
Not to my knowledge.
So it's safe to say that to your knowledge, this move was completely unprecedented?
To my knowledge.
Would it be unusual, in your experience and to your knowledge, for FBI agents to hide the existence and results of an investigation, such an investigation, from their superiors?
Did you say, would it be typical?
No, would it be unusual?
Very unusual.
Yes. And in fact, that is indeed what press reports suggest happened here. When FBI officials hide investigations from superiors, is there anybody to hold them accountable? I mean, what happens in that instance?
There is no accountability.
Have you looked into the decision by the FBI into why they launched the counterintelligence investigation?
I am looking into it, and I have looked into it.
And will you commit to telling us what you find as the result of your own review and investigation?
Well, at the end of the day, when I form conclusions, I intend to share it.
I'll take that as a yes. Let me ask you about the 25th Amendment, if I might, for just a moment. We know that former acting director of the FBI, Andy McCabe, he's publicly confirmed that he contemplated forcing the president from office using the 25th Amendment. To your knowledge, have FBI officials ever contemplated forcing any other president from office against his will using that provision?
Not to my knowledge.
The 25th Amendment contemplates the vice president taking over as president when the president is unable to act. Would you agree that that text contemplates physical ailments like a coma, mental incapacitation, not just political differences of opinion?
Yes.
Have you ever doubted, since you have been in your current position, whether this president is physically able, in constitutional sense, to discharge his duties as president?
No.
Would you agree that discussions within the FBI of forcing the president out of office for political reasons gives the public, at best, reason to question what the FBI is doing and to fear that there may be abuses of power in that organization?
I think it gives reason to be concerned about those particular individuals that were involved. I don't know.
I'm very glad to hear him say that, because what happens is when one just uses the title FBI or CIA as opposed to the particular individuals who, it turns out, in my view, to have been traitors to the American government, then it's good that Bill Barr is differentiating between those people that have and the department or the FBI itself.
Contributed to the organization.
Speaking of particular individuals who are involved, I have to say, I've listened to this testimony all day today, and to me, maybe the most shocking thing I've heard is this. Chairman read it earlier. August 26th, 2016. This is a text message from Peter Strzok, a top counterintelligence investigator who we now know helped launch this counter-spy investigation of the President of the United States. Peter Strzok says, just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Smell is capitalized. Just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support.
Now, what shocks me is that people of that very low caliber, in my opinion, that actually even uses language like that, could even be in positions that they're, I believe he's head of counterintelligence. I mean, it just astounds me, frankly.
My view, you want to know what's really going on here? You want to know why the counterintelligence investigation really happened? You want to know why we're all really sitting here today? That's why, right there. Is because an unelected bureaucrat.
An unelected bureaucrat struck.
Unelected official in this government who clearly has open disdain, if not outright hatred, for Trump voters, like the people of my state, for instance. I could smell the Trump support, then tried to overturn the results of a Democratic election. That's what's really gone on here. That's the story. That's why we're here today. I cannot believe that a top official of this government, with the kind of power that these people had, would try to exercise their own prejudices, and that's what this is. It's open, blatant prejudice. Would try to use that in order to overturn a Democratic election. And to my mind, that's the real crisis here. And it is a crisis, because if there's not accountability, if this can go on in the United States of America, well, then my goodness gracious, we don't have a democracy anymore. So I appreciate your leadership, Mr. Attorney General. I look forward to hearing the results of your investigation, and I look forward to this committee continuing its constitutional responsibility to find out what is going on here and making sure that the will of the people is vindicated and established. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good questioning. I would say the same in England. There has been so much deceit, lying. I mean, we're not just talking about deceit and lying. We're talking about treacherous actions and behavior. Certainly in the United States and certainly in Britain, and the two are well connected. I'm now going to come on to, here we are, and at some point this will be part 2 because I've gone way over my time. And this is a very interesting video of Corsi, that explains his book, How to Kill the Deep State.
The Deep State, I wrote the book Killing Deep State to really expose what I think is shocking, a coup d'etat treasonous conspiracy that started in the FBI to make sure that Donald Trump would never be allowed to remain president, despite having been duly elected with the Electoral College vote. And the conspiracy began in an effort to find grounds to impeach Donald Trump. It spread to the Department of Justice, involved ultimately the CIA and the White House under President Obama. So the heart of my book in the Deep State is exposing the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, and the Obama White House, which I identify as the operational parts of the Deep State for this purpose, in an attempt to have a coup d'etat to remove Donald Trump from office. The Deep State is also working with the intelligence agencies. So, for instance, critical to this coup d'etat conspiracy was the fact that the FISA court approval to do electronic surveillance of Donald Trump's campaign, which came on the basis of using this fraudulent Fusion GPS dossier, which even Comey told the Congress could not be authenticated by the FBI. They still were able to get, the FBI was able to get.
And remember, Fusion is, as far as I'm aware, a British company, and Christopher Steele is was an MI6 agent. Once you are, you are.
Permission to electronic surveillance of Donald Trump's campaign, which meant that through Carter Page, who I think was an FBI operative, implanted in the campaign by the FBI, Carter Page would talk to virtually every key member of Donald Trump's campaign. They became of collateral interest and were also placed under electronic surveillance. That went through the NSA, could take all other data they had.
I'm going to put this in the description box as I have with all the others, and look forward to the new things that are happening on our planet. It's very exciting. God bless. Catania Alvin signing out. Bye-bye. I should say Catania Alvin signing out from part 1 and part 2.